Welcome back to another video here on the Bannock Industries YouTube channel. Now today we are continuing work on our 2000 Ford Ranger. Now if you didn't see last video, we mounted our frame rails and then we did our cross members to the actual cab or the main frame rails. Got the cab mounted. So this is all solid, one unit. There is our cross pieces that we built. This is all just 2x6 square tubing, all 1/8 wall that we built it out of. Of course, 4 5/8 bolts on each side, holding the cab structure to our frame. So today, what we need to do before we can actually start building the roll cage is we have to shorten our frame. So we're going to take our rear bumper here. It's going to get moved up to right here. So we're going to have to chop the frame, move that up, weld that all in. So we'll be taking care of that. And then we'll come around here to the front. Now, with how we're doing the front axle, since we're moving it ahead so much, the tires are actually going to come right to the front of here. So this is too wide. So instead of trying to cut this up and make it work, what I'm going to do is cut it, take it, get rid of it. We're actually going to redo this. We're going to take the plate that the winch sits on and we're going to run some new tubing between the front cross member, or between the frame rails here. Build ourselves a cross member and then mount the winch to that cross member. So you'll be seeing that today in this video. So I'm gonna set you guys up. We'll do lots of this on time lapse. We'll get some new tubing in there and get to work. Okay, so this is where we're at now. So we went ahead, we took our old bumper off. I took and I cut out the 3/8 plate that the winch was mounted to. It's right here. Now we had to skinny it up a little and trim it. So it's now 26 inches across and about 6.5 inches long, or wide, I guess we'll call it that. Now you guys probably saw I had a bar going from here to there. That I had actually marked on the frame, so I knew that was straight. And the only reason I put that was there, just to keep the frame rails from spreading, because we have nothing up front here, or we didn't once I took the bumper off. So that's why we had that there. I then went ahead and welded our front tube in place. This is all just that 1 3/4 120 wall tubing that we'll be building the cage out of. But when at the front, it's pretty much 1/2 inch from the top of the frame rail here down. That's kind of what we wanted. And now our winch plate, it'll actually sit between here, and then I'll be able to weld kind of on the tops. I'll see if I can throw this just in here. Going to be hard without gloves on. So yeah, of course everything's hot. So just to give you an idea, this is where that's going to sit, and of course we'll make it flat. We'll make it even. And then this plate will get welded into here. Our winch will mount to this. and that'll kind of be our front cross member, but it's looking really good. This is going to be a lot stronger than what our bumper was originally, so I'm pretty happy with that. Got to go ahead, we'll weld that all in. We might actually throw the winch back up there just to see where it is, and then we'll move to the back. There we go. Winch plate's all welded in. Looks really, really good. Did 6 inches of weld right at all of our bolt holes here, just to make it strong. We didn't weld the whole way, just to allow for flex and let water in and out, but more or less just flex. But definitely wanted to secure it right where we'll be pulling with the winch mount. And then just the corners here, we left this gap just because there's a kind of the frame digs in there. So all in all, really happy with how it looks. I think that's much better than what we had with this. So we're gonna let this cool down before we do the winch, or set the winch on there. So let's move to the back. Here we go. We got the rear bumper now mounted. Went ahead. The frame kind of has this nice bend in it right here where it changes. So we just cut along there, and then we were able to leave, just follow that line. We left some material here, but ended up cutting it. With the holes that we had it originally mounted with, probably just leave those. They're not going to hurt nothing. But went ahead. It's mounted now. So what we got next to do, come in here, I got to chop off this outside horn, since our tire is going to sit here and that'll be in the way. So we'll go ahead, we'll cut that, grind this nice and flat. I might even go as far as moving this in a little bit. I'm not sure, probably just leave it for now though. But there we go, it's all short now. Try to give you guys a good side view. So that's how much shorter this is going to be. Now of course the tire should stick out technically past this, past the rear bumper a little bit. So it'll be good to see that when we get there. But there we go. Coming along. Of course everything's level, and that's kind of how we set up our cab and our frame. So everything's level. So when we're going off of this, yeah, we know like the top of the frame and the top of the frame is there, but when I set a level on there, we're nice and good square. And then of course I also went this way to make sure that our flat, or our face, is as perfectly true as possible as well. So it's going really well, but more cutting to go, and then we'll show you guys in. Okay, there we go. We went ahead, we actually mounted the winch. We just have the front bolts for now. I have to take and clearance for the rears so they work. I made this a little too tight, didn't pay attention, but not a big issue, just a little bit of stuff. But there's where that's going to sit. That just helps now that it's in place. We can make sure our tubes and other stuff coming from the cage work around that. And I'll just show you guys the back here now. So went ahead, we cut off the side horns of the bumper. kind of allowed that to plate our frame. Of course, we showed you guys that already. But with that, the way we had our tow hooks here before, they were right on the edge of this plate. And then of course our bumper horn was welded on side and then all tied in. So instead of gouging out the steel, we just cut these off, we moved them in a little bit, and now our shackle, when it's sitting, will sit nice and centered, and we won't have anything sticking out for a tire to possibly rub on. Even though we probably shouldn't have tire hitting here, just have it so it's not going to be in the center. So that's what we got done. Now come back next video, we will be putting the cage in this thing. We're going to start work on that right now, and you'll see that next video. See you then.